Hey guys! You're probably wondering why after 7 months of not putting up a single video, I'm suddenly putting up video after video. And so number one is I finally realized the Wi-Fi does work fast enough to upload videos as long as I leave the laptop open for an entire day. Number two is that in the face of the imminent doom of my exams, I have started doing whatever I can to avoid it. I would say subconsciously, but this is a pretty conscious decision to not be studying and instead be making a video. But an interesting story happened lately. And by interesting, I mean laugh or cry type of story. So, first off, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but our college has a fingerprint system. So every morning we have to go check in our fingerprint, and then at the end of college again we have to check in. And I think it was to limit the amount of proxies or fake attendance, except that after the first day where everyone showed up en masse, 150 kids in the lecture theater, no one cared after that. So now it's just a routine, but it's not something that scares us because we realize that there's no way that the college is going to go through the entire account to see if the attendance matches. The best part of that is that without any interference from us, the college managed to make it so that every day we get to flip it off because the fingerprint is our middle finger. So that certainly makes the morning better. But that fear dissipated and things went back to normal. But then this incident happened a couple days ago. So our first class at 8 o'clock is a clinical lecture, which means that it's lectures for subjects that we're going to have next year or the year after. And after that we have the lectures that are relevant to this year, which means that a lot of people miss the first class because the attendance doesn't matter until a year or two later. So the other day when one of the main administration people was on his rounds, he came into the classroom at 8 o'clock to see that there were only 10 students in there and the teacher hadn't arrived yet. Because we usually don't come, or everyone just sleeps through the class anyways. The teacher showed up 5 minutes later and got a thorough scolding. And then during our break, the dog got called to his office. 20 of us shuffled in and got lectured about why we weren't coming and that being late is no excuse because class starts at 8 and you should be there at promptly 8 o'clock. He extracted a promise from us that we would show up at exactly 8 o'clock because otherwise there would be a 5,000 rupee fine per class missed without prior notice. And 5,000 rupees is about $100. I guess it's 1 to 67 conversion rate going on right now, so you can calculate that yourself if you care. The next day was one of the first day in months that I had seen almost 150 students in the classroom, which was overwhelming. I forgot that there were that many kids in our prof. And 8 o'clock, almost everyone's there. A few kids trickle in, 8:05, 8:07, probably running and hoping for the best. Then 8:10 comes, and 8:30 comes, and there's no teacher. And we're starting to get really frustrated because we woke up, got ready, and ran here to the lecture theater, and the teacher didn't show up. 8:55 realized the teacher wasn't going to show up. One batch has lectures on the lower floor and then the other one goes upstairs for the rest of the lectures. So we decided that we were going to go upstairs, except that the people who work in the labs and stuff told us that they weren't allowed to let us out until 9 o'clock and then they shut the doors on us. So literally getting locked into the classroom until 9 o'clock. So the only thing frustrating about that is the actual terror we had at being late and the irritation at being played by the college when no one came, and most likely no one's ever going to hold us responsible. But in good news, starting from tomorrow, it's vacation time. Anti-ragging holidays, which means that the new students are coming in, and in order to keep us from terrifying them, they give us a week and a half off so that we could not bully our juniors, which none of us had an interest in doing anyways because our juniors are kind of always boring. Rude and boring. There are super juniors, like juniors, So we don't care about them at all. That's our juniors' duty to do whatever they want with them, and we don't really care. But it means days off. And I'm going to my friend's house. She's invited me to Chandigarh, and then I'll be going back home to Ludhiana, and then I'll be going to my Masi's place in Patiala. So lots of traveling and hopefully lots of interesting stuff. So that's my life. Hope you enjoyed this video, and that's all from the abandoned orphanage.